right, we are live. How you doing? Can you hear me, Casey? Am I good?
You are all good, loud and
All right.
clear.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. My name is Joseph Ngugi, and this is
My name is Casey Coleman. What is up, guys?
what's up. And we are the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, where we are really just hell-bent on helping pre-PT students get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. That's what we do. That's why we show up all the time. That's why we're here every single week to help you. And tonight we have a topic that is really just talking about one attribute of just this process of becoming like PT students, because you're trying to get into physical therapy school. If you're following us as a pre-PT, that is your goal, right? And so our topic tonight is, what if I told you that all you had to do was show up? That's what we want to talk about. Because this is the one area that if I was to go back as a pre-physical therapy student, even now as a physical therapist, it's something that I kind of missed. And sometimes it leads to making a lot of really quick quick decisions, doing certain activities that in the moment feel like, well, this is what I have to do right now. Like, oh, I have to apply for PTCast right now. Oh, I have to study for the GRE right now. And we want to talk about the in between and how to actually develop the right habits, the right system, just the right process, so that when you get your first interview, when you get accepted into a program, it's not really a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be this spurt of activity that took place just to, get everything in just on time and all that stuff. Like, we want to talk about what it takes in between all of that to make sure that you're just a good applicant. You want to be good, but not just good. You want to be exceptional. You want to stand out. You want to be great, but it's not just knowing what to fill out on PTCast. It's not just knowing how to pass the GRE. We want to talk about showing up and what that means to you as pre-PT students. Is that all right? Is that all right? All right, Casey. Start us off, man. So, well, first of all, let me lay the foundation. So, Casey and I, if this is the first time that you've ever listened to us, when we started at Energy University, we made an admission to just this, like, every single time we had the opportunity to work with pre-PT students, just to empower you, give you a lot of value. We made a decision that we weren't going to do it the way everyone else does it. So the way we saw it done is just very strategic, very tactical, very much based on what was on the school's website. And we do that as well. But we realized that a lot of times as pre-PTs, there's a lot of things that are missed in the process of just understanding how PTCast works, how the GRE works. There's certain aspects of this process that are just missed, that for us, really, when we look back and we deal with one of our students that has applied 2 or 3 times, it's the parts that they missed that led to them not getting accepted the first few times, right? And none of it had to do with, well, part of it had to do with strategy, but not most of it. Most of it had to deal with what we're talking about tonight. And so, Casey, start us off, man, because this is like tonight. I want it to be very clear that there are certain things that we just have to do on a consistent basis daily as pre-physical therapy students if we want to have a chance of getting accepted into not just a program of our choice, but just a PT program and start this amazing career to becoming physical therapists. All right, Casey, let's go.
Yeah, so when I saw this topic, the first thing that kind of came to mind was trust in this whole.
Hmm.
Okay, consistency goes along with that. And if you're going to show up daily, and you can think about any platform, whatever company you like to buy from, it doesn't really matter the thing we're talking about here. But if you like a certain company, if you follow us at all, if you follow any other influencers on social media, you'll come to realize that they're pretty consistent on
Hmm.
a weekly basis, monthly, daily, 3 times a week. And that over time, you get used to them and you start to gravitate to them. You start to like them. And eventually you start to trust them.
Hmm.
And same kind of concept with getting into PT school. You have to be consistent with all parts of the application. And that builds what? That builds trust for the
Exactly.
school you're applying to. So they go back and look at your long history of your 3 years of your, and we said this before, your 3 to 4 years of your application, and they
Yeah.
see they were consistent here, they were consistent there, they were a part of this thing and that thing, and they can see that track record of consistency. And over time, they're like, man, I like this person. I can get to trust them to be in my program and make it through and,
Yeah.
back onto us and all that good stuff when we go down the line. So when I hear all you have to do is show up, you have to show up over time and be very consistent with what you do. Because if you had your own program, if you had a daughter or a son and they were dating someone, you wouldn't want someone who was not consistent in
True.
dating your daughter or your son, or doing your taxes, or managing your money, or doing your surgery, or doing your physical therapy if you were injured. You wouldn't want somebody who wasn't consistent. Just for instance, since we're talking about physical therapy here, and that's the whole premise. If you had an ankle sprain, if you had a back injury, and you went to
Mm.
PT, and your physical therapist showed up every other week, or once every 4 days or whatever for your treatment,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
would trust them so much. Will I really get better with this person? Do they even know what they're doing? Do they even care about if I get better or not? Does this company even care if I get better or not? Boom,
Mm.
I'm out. That's the same thing these schools are thinking of. Is this person consistent? Is the student consistent? Will they be
Yeah.
consistent in our program? And can we trust them moving
Mm.
forward in the physical therapy profession? Because a lot of times they're looking at you guys as their colleagues. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pretty soon. So even now, when you're interacting online with us, we might be scrolling through there whatever times a week. Be like, can we trust this person? Would we like this person to be our colleague? Would we like that person to be our colleague? Are they consistent? And it goes down the line. So you just have to have that mindset and that thought process when it comes to this showing up daily and what it really means. It's not just I got to show up to my observation hours, check off these times. It's not really about that. It's more than
Yeah.
that. About can they trust you or not.
You
So
got it. You got it.
interesting.
And so all it is that to be successful as a pre-physical therapy applicant, a pre-physical therapy student, it's not just about waiting for the moments where you have to do your obligations. And those are what I was talking about before. The PT CAS application, the GRE, the like letters of recommendation. I think that's what 90% of pre-physical therapists do. And if that's you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You finish your GRE, you're like, all right, I'm done with that. All right, cool. I'll just chill until I hear back from my this. I'll just chill until this. I'll just like you wait until the moments when you're required to just do certain things because you have a deadline instead of just being very strategic about just being like on it every single day. There are certain things that we have to be able to do on a daily basis to set ourselves up for the big moments. It's like what Casey was saying. It's like a relationship. When you build a relationship, you have to build up on it. It's just doing it over and over and over. And it's never like imagine like if I'm dating somebody. So let's say I have my fiance, right? And so I decide that I'm not going to show her daily that I love her. I'm just going to wait once a month. Once a month, I'll just get her flowers, maybe some her favorite food, and she likes the sun, and so I'll take her to the beach once a month. I'll do all the things she likes. I'll do it once a month, and that'll be good. How long do you think that relationship would last? Not long at all. Not long at all. Because I've waited for just those landmarks just to show her that I kind of still remember her, but I haven't shown it. And so as a pre-PT applicant, I remember of one of our students who you'll hear from pretty soon. We'll bring her on here live to interview her. But one of our students was she was applying to PT school. She's a non-traditional physical therapy applicant. So she's a non-traditional pre-PT. She's currently in another profession, doing some training and all of that, but she wants to really just work on blending the two worlds together. And so for her, she had a certain number of years like away from some of the classes, the prerequisites that she needed when she was in undergrad. And so when she was applying this cycle, she was struggling. She was struggling because she's like, well, I have certain things that are holding me back. I have certain things that are causing me to actually not pursue this with as much confidence as I would like because I really want to be a PT. Like that's my goal. That's my dream. I want to become a physical therapist. And so one thing I saw about her though is that she had an unnatural level of grit and consistency. Every single day there was something she was doing that was building up towards that goal. Whether it was the clients that she was dealing with every single day to prepare her for how she was going to interact with them, whether it was what she was listening. So she was in our course. So she was sometimes listening to the videos that Casey and our team had created and all of that. And so she was doing that. Whether it was talking to other pre-PT students and just finding out what they had done, she was doing that. And so those things started adding up over and over and over to the point where I was like, well, honestly, we've done everything we can. We said we've done everything we can as to prepare you for this application. Even though there were certain things that she was still unsure about, all we have to do is just wait there and sit there and just wait. And even though she's still like she had done everything on her side, like she had done her part, but it wasn't until she got her first acceptance. And I said first because she got two. It wasn't until she got her first acceptance that it finally dawned on her that everything that she had done consistently, especially when she was freaking out about applying, because I think that's what happens sometimes. We're
I think it's coming back. There we go. You're good.
back. And so for her, it was, I'm so sorry, internet's tripping. But bottom line is she decided that she was going to do something every single day. She was going to figure out what she could do that day as a pre-PT student to further herself or to get herself closer to her goal of becoming a physical therapist. So our question is very simple tonight because all you have to do is showing up. Showing up just means being consistent, but let's be very, very specific here. So for you, you can either put it in the comments or you can, write it down for yourself as a pre-PT. Let's say you are 1 year from applying. Are you waiting until the application cycle opens just to start getting your act together? Is that what you're waiting for? Because if you're doing that, well, you're not really setting yourself apart. You're doing what most pre-PTs do. If you're applying this cycle and you just finished your application, are you waiting until your interview call comes, or are you actually prepping for that? Are you understanding that school through and through? Are you prepping yourself for what's happening next? If you haven't even submitted your application and you're waiting for ABC, what are you doing what are you doing right now, even when you don't have to do something? As soon as you submit your application, it's not I'm done until the next part. It's okay, what do I have to do now to keep my momentum going? Does that make sense? When athletes finish the season, they have like a period of time where they keep working and grinding to make sure that they maintain their strength, their speed, their skills. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If someone's going to be a superstar as an athlete, then shouldn't you be working to be a superstar as a pre-PT? And the only way to do that is showing up. It is. And that's one thing that Casey and I have had to learn over time. Man, you already know, sir. But that's one thing that we've had to learn, because for us to serve you, we've had to show up. We have to. If we just decided, you know what, we have enough videos out there, let's just start, sharing them out over and over. Okay, cool. Like, we show up live. This is a live stream, whether you're watching live or on replay. But it's the same habits that you have to embody as a pre-PT. Does that make sense? And so if you do that every single day, I can already guarantee you that you're in the 10% of pre-PT applicants, because nobody else is really doing that. And that's what we're asking you to do today. If you're doing so wherever you're at, whether you're a year from applying, whether you're applying right now, whether you've already submitted your application, whether you're still waiting on schools to call you back, even if you've gotten accepted, what are you still doing? Ask yourself that. What am I doing every single day? I have to ask myself that. What am I doing every single day towards my goal? What are my goals? To help pre-PTs get into PT school, So that's one thing. I have to ask myself, I'm busy, I got a job, okay, cool. What am I doing every single day to get myself closer to helping another pre-PT get accepted into PT school? Is it a message? Am I doing a live stream? Is it a podcast? Is it a call? What is it? Okay, two, I'm a physical therapist. What am I doing to further myself as a physical therapist? Is it personal development? Is it taking care of my patients? Is it talking to other clinicians to find out certain things that I might be missing? Number three, I have a fiance. What am I doing every single day to take care of her? Or am I just going to wait till the end of the month just to give her flowers and, take her to the beach and do all those different things just because, she likes that and I could just say, well, yeah, I'm still doing what I got to do. Everything's about just being consistent and figuring out every single day, what can I do? Because if that's what you want, and if it's your priority to get into PT school, then you have to do it. It's really a no-brainer. You have to do it. It's just figuring out what, like, for where you're at, it's just figuring out, like, what should I be doing? And if that's your question, like, then let's help you figure that out. Message us at contactpreptgrind.com. Let's talk about that. But if you're not doing that every single day, then you have to ask yourself, are you really setting yourself up to be at your best as an applicant? Are you really setting yourself up to be the best possible version of yourself as you're entering the school for the interview, as you're applying on PTCast, as you're starting your PT program next year? It doesn't really matter. But you have to ask yourself that question over and over and over again. Every single day, what am I doing today to get into PT school? What am I doing today to get into PT school? Ask yourself that over and over and over. And if you find a day where you're not doing something and you're like, shoot, okay, message us. You just did something. But then we'll also help you lay out what to do from then on out. Because that's our mission. And if your mission is to get into PT school, then you have to do these things. You have to be consistent. You have to show up over and over and over again. When you get into PT school, you'll have to do the same thing. When you become a physical therapist like we are, you'll have to do the same thing. And that's how it works. It's not some switch where I say, all right, today I'm going to apply to PTCast. All right, today I'm going to study for the GRE. All right, today I'm going to prepare for the interview. All right. No, it doesn't work like that. And even if it works short term, it's not going to take you long term. And that's it. That's it. It's so simple, but keep grinding, keep pushing. We 100% believe in you. And that's why we invest so much time in just pouring into you. But because of that, we also expect you to do yourself a favor and show up for yourself. Don't show up for me. Don't show up for Casey. We good. Like, we made it. We're in PT, like we're PTs. We're in the profession. Show up for yourself. Show up for you. And if getting into PT school means that much to you, then do it for you. It's that simple. So that's it. Casey, do you have anything else before we close tonight, brother?
That's it. That's it. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. Like, this is not for us. Us showing up here every week, every day, us being consistent, us showing up for you, us building up trust in your eyes. We're good. This is for you in the future of physical therapy moving forward. So if we're showing up for you, the best thing you can do is show up for yourself.
Exactly.
So,
that's it. All right. So that's it for tonight. You have a great rest of your Thursday evening. We're going to be back here next week. We have a retreat this coming weekend where we're going to be talking about you consistently. So we have some good things coming up to just help you fast track your way into physical therapy school. But just know that it's not some trick where you just show up and you're like, all right, I can piece these. No. You still have to show up. So show up for you. Be consistent. Figure out what you have to do every single day, and we'll see you on the other side. All right.